Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please, if you're seeing this video and you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please kindly hit the subscribe button and find this video useful at the end. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and also subscribe to my channel. In today's video, we'll be making an off-shoulder dress with elastic. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into the tutorial. So for this dress, you'll be needing about 2.5 yards of fabric to 3 yards of fabric, depending on your size. But for me, I'll be using 2.5 yards of fabric. So I have my fabric folded into 4 already. So the front panel is folded into 2 and the back panel is folded into 2. So I folded the fabric using the biggest circumference of my body, which is my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 46 inches, divided by 4 is 11.5 inches. Then I added extra 10 inches to it, which is 21.5 inches. So I have my fabric in fold of 21.5 inches. That is, the front panel is in fold of 21.5 inches. Then the back panel is in fold of 21.5 inches. So the next thing now is to mark out our measurement on the dress. So the full length of my dress is 38 inches, but because it's an off-shoulder dress, I'll be subtracting 5 inches from the full length. So 38 minus 5 is 30. So 38 minus 5 inches is 33 inches. So then I added 1 extra inch for the folding at the top, because I'll be adding elastic to the top. Another 1 extra inch for the folding at the base, making 35 inches in total. So right now I'll be marking my shoulder measurements. So my shoulder measurement is 16 inches. 16 inches divided by 2 is 8 inches. Then I'll be adding additional 7 inches to it, since I want it to be gathered at the top. And since I'm going to be adding elastic at the top, that is 15 inches. So I'll mark my 15 inches here. Then I'll draw a straight line. Now I'll do now, from this 15 inches mark, I'll come in by 4 inches. I'll mark my 4 inches here. So my round armhole measurement is 18 inches. 18 inches divided by 2 is 9 inches. But since I'm subtracting 5 inches from the full length of the dress, I'll also subtract the same 5 inches from my armhole measurement. So we have 4 inches left. Then I'll add the 1 inch extra for the casing to add the elastic, so making 5 inches. So I'll come down here by 5 inches. Then I'll also add additional ½ inches for joining. So from this point, from this 4 inches I came in, I'm going to just form a curve down to the armhole measurement. So this is our armhole curve. This is what it looks like. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my ruler and I'll connect these points, forming a slant down to the full length of the dress, because I want the dress to look a flare. Take my ruler now and I'll connect it straight down from the armhole down to the full length of the dress. So this is what it looks like. So now I'll go ahead to cut it out. I'm starting from the armhole. Don't forget that we're cutting the back panel and the front panel together. So this is what it looks like after cutting out. So the next thing now we're going to do is to cut out our sleeve. So to cut out our sleeve, I have my fabric folded by, so I folded my fabric using my round armhole measurement. My round armhole measurement is 18 inches, divided by 2 is 9 inches. Then plus that 9 inches, and so to that 9 inches, I added additional 6 inches to it, making 15 inches. So I have here 15 inches on fold for the first sleeve and 15 inches on fold for the second sleeve. So for the length, I want the length of 16 inches. So I subtracted 5 inches from it, making 11 inches. 5 inches because it's an off-shoulder dress. Then I added 1 extra inch for the folding at the top to add the elastic, and another 1 inch at the base to add the elastic, because there will be elastic at the base of the sleeve. So that is 13 inches in length. So I have 13 inches in length here. So to cut out the armhole for the sleeve, I'm just going to place this fabric, I'm going to place this armhole point on it just like this, making sure the open side are facing each other this way. You can see all the open sides are facing each other. So what I'm going to do now, I will just take my chalk and I would draw it out. I'll trace it out. Or even if you don't want to trace it out, you could just cut it out directly. So trace it out this way. So we have our curve here, so I will just go ahead to cut it out. So the next thing we are going to do now is to go ahead to join both sides of the dress together. So I'll take it to my sewing machine using 1-inch sewing allowance. I will join this side of the dress and I'll join the other side. Then for the sleeve, I'll also do the same thing. I'll turn the right side facing each other and I'll close it up here. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So I've gone ahead to join the sides together. I've joined both sides together and I've also joined the sleeve together. So the next thing we're going to do now is to attach our sleeve to the dress. So what you're going to do, you pick up your dress, you match the armhole facing each other, right side of your sleeve to the right side of your dress. So you can take your safety pin. You can see the armhole opening is similar, so you just match it to each other. So I'll be using my safety pin to just hold it in place. So you also make sure that the part where you joined it is also facing each other. So I've used my pin to secure my sleeve to the dress. So what I'll do now is to take it to my sewing machine and I'll using 1/2 inch sewing allowance, I will run a straight stitch down to the edge. So I'll repeat the same thing for the other sleeve. Then when I'm done with it, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So I've gone ahead to attach the sleeve to the dress. So this is what it looks like. You can see how wide the neckline is, but by the time I add elastic to it, it's going to come out very beautiful. So what we're going to do now is to fold in the neckline by the 1-inch allowance we kept for the casing. So the first thing now is to fold in first by 1/2 inch and fold in again by another 1/2 inch. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now and I will sew it to round the neckline. But when I get to this point where I started from, I'm going to leave like a 1-inch opening because that is where I'll be passing my elastic through. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I've gone ahead to fold the neckline of our dress using the 1-inch seam allowance, and I also left this space open, 1-inch space open, where I'll be passing my elastic through. So to get your elastic length, you get your round shoulder measurement. For me, my round shoulder measurement is 46 inches. Then I subtracted 10 inches from it, making 36 inches. So I have an elastic length of 36 inches without pulling it. 36 inches without pulling it. Then for the base of the sleeve, I'll be fixing elastic into it too. So I have this elastic here, 10 inches of elastic for both sleeves. So to pass our elastic through, you take your office pin. Take your office pin and you just attach it to your elastic band this way and you close it up. So from this space you left open, you begin to pass your elastic through it. So you pass it all the way around. So when you are passing your elastic, always take note of the end of the elastic so that it won't run into the fabric. So I've successfully passed out the elastic. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to attach it to the other edge this way. So what I'm going to do now is to take it to my sewing machine and join the two ends together. I'll run it like 2 to 3 times so that it can be very strong. So when I'm done with that, I'll also repeat the same process for the sleeve opening. I'll pass the elastic through it, the 10-inch elastic band through it, and when I'm done with it, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I finished inserting the elastic for both the neckline and the armhole opening. So you can see how beautiful the dress looks, and I've also gone ahead to fold in the base by 1 inch, the 1-inch allowance that we left. So I'm going to be showing you guys what it looks like on my mannequin. So if you find this video useful, if you find this video very helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and also subscribe to my channel for more amazing content. See you in my next video. Bye.